I'm here at the Intermax booth at CES 2024 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let me go ahead and walk you guys around and show some of the cool products that they're showing off here today. So if we come back, they have a number of cases, and that's really where I wanted to go ahead and start today. So they have, this is the Interpozzo EP33. They have two different versions. They got one in black and white. And what's really cool about this case that they were telling me is that they were really focusing on being able to fit some of the thicker radiator AIOs that are out there on the market. I've noticed a lot of cases lately have been struggling with that, and they've been able to go ahead and accommodate that and give plenty of space to pretty much fit any components out there on the market. I think you can do up to a 420 up front, 360 up top, and then you also have a single 120, I believe, in the back as well. They also have what's their EP23. This is a miniaturized version. The front and everything kind of look exactly the same. You're just going to be a little bit smaller when it comes to everything. So you're only going to be able to do a 360 up front and then a 280 up top. That gives you, a little bit less, but it is a little bit of a smaller form factor, which is nice to see. If we continue on, they're also showing off some of their fans here. They have their Silent Flow series that they have some really incredible specs. I'll make sure to go ahead and share those with you guys. And then they also have their Square RGB Advanced series. And I've loved these fans. I've actually tested them out a couple times. And I love the outline that goes around the fan itself. It kind of gives you more detail and it allows it to pop rather than just traditional hub design. If we continue on, one of the big things that's coming out right now is the change for the ATX 3.1 form factor, as well as the Intel ATX 12VO motherboard standard that's come out recently. Basically, if you guys haven't heard, the 12VO motherboard standard is going to change the 24 pin, which allows for cheaper motherboards. It also allows for, for systems that don't need as much power, and it kind of gives you less cable bulk as well, which is one of the reasons why this is here. So one of their products that they're showing is, this is their basically one of their flagship products, Latije Mini, and basically this is a ATX 3.1 and ATX 12VO compatible power supply. What's super unique is that this one can do either option. So they have both the 12VO option, or if you use both of them, it allows you to have the normal 24 pin, which is great. Speaking of the 12-pin connectors, when it comes to GPUs, they were having a lot of issues with the original high voltage connector. Everybody was. So they went ahead and made sure all their new power supplies have the new 12V by 2x6 connector, which does give you better range of motion, and you don't have to worry about possibly catching fire anymore like those other ones were. And we continue on, they also have their Revolution DF series. These are really nice. They're able to squeeze the form factor of 850 watts and pretty much not much bigger. I think it's only 2 millimeters bigger than a 120 millimeter fan. So that's incredible. And one of the things they said was a huge accomplishment for them was focusing on being able to get everything in this entire enclosure white. So even the connectors, and I see a lot of companies struggle with this, the connectors on the back, those are all white. The fan itself is white. All the switches on the back are white, and it comes in at this tiny form factor. And then if you look at the cables themselves, they are all the way white to the actual connectors, and they're not going to go ahead and be, white with a black tip. It's nice and, perfect there. They also have a black version if that's what you're looking for. And if we are continuing on, we have a continuation of their DF series power supplies. Their DF stands for dust free. And these dust-free power supplies on startup will actually run in reverse for 15 seconds and then switch rotation. This allows for them to basically self-clean. And a couple of their special ones include the Pro version right here. And they actually worked with Splave, a famous overclocker, to go ahead and make sure that this was up to spec for pretty much any build out there on the market. But one of the features that they actually started showing off is they actually have a dust-free button. So if your system is running and you do want to go ahead and clean the dust out of your power supply, you press a button, flips the rotation, and it allows you to go ahead and clean some of that dust off. They also have a bunch of other versions, some different, spec, everything up to 1650 watts for a power supply, which I think is one of the largest for, North America. So that's huge there. And they got a whole different lineup, with the RGB, and then they have some of their, all black designs here as well. If we flip around, we have some really cool news when it comes to cooling for high-end desktops, for your Intel Xeons and Threadrippers. This is the Lictech XTR. It stands for Xeon Threadripper, and they're going to include all the mounting hardware necessary and an absolutely massive block here that they're going to be able to show off here. This will also, they haven't finished everything out, but they're going to also have a screen on it with digital display. They said it's going to auto rotate as well, so depending on the orientation you put it, you're not going to have to worry about changing anything as far as the screen. It'll always be the right side up. They're just finishing up some software side of things, as this is just an early preview. We can actually see that in one of their cases here. This is their EK98. This is their top of the line case right now. And if we go ahead and just pop the panel off, it pops off nice and easy, and we can see that Lictech cooler right there. Tons of cooling room here. Looks like they got room for, I believe, 420 up front, possibly a 420 up top, and then another 280 or 240 in the middle right there. And this one is showing off a cooling, I believe that's a Threadripper CPU right now. Yeah, it looks like that's cooling a 7970X. And they're saying that this cooler is actually going to go ahead and be able to do about 500 watts. That's what they're claiming right now. They said that it may actually be even better once they get some of the final versions worked out. Continuing on, we also have some of their other coolers on the market. First up, we have the LickMax Flow. And what's really cool about this is they have it comes with, you know, the design. Basically, you got the RGB going around on the actual cooler itself, but for the pump block. But you can actually pop that right off, and that comes right off, and it could be swapped either with another design or one that you 3D print yourself. Because all you would need is to go ahead and just print the actual plastic housing, add a couple magnets, and you can throw it right into place. Another thing that they were talking about is it does have a fan here for some VRM cooling, which is great, especially with some of these new processors coming out. The radiator is also 38 millimeters rather than a traditional, the traditional thickness, which is going to allow for some additional cooling capacity, and is a huge deal to go ahead and get up to 420 watts for their thermal dissipation. We continue on. They also have a couple other AIOs. They're working on some, additional screen products, LCD screens. First off, one that was kind of interesting, and I do want to get your guys' opinion on it, what you guys think about this. This is the Aquaflow LCD. They don't have it fully done yet, but what's going to happen is this cooler is supposedly going to have a screen that you can actually pull in and out with a little battery, where you can take like your specs or something like that and have it separately from the system itself. Personally, for me, I probably would keep it in the system more likely than not, but I do want to see if you guys are interested in it. I know the InterMax team is going to go ahead and take a look at that and see, what you guys are thinking. So make sure you share that. And I do think it's a cool concept, and if it does work out, that'd be awesome. And then they also have what's called their Aquaflow Project B. It's got this really cool, design with LCD screen, same thing. But they also have a side radial fan that's going to have directional airflow to your VRM. So basically, the design's not fully complete, but there will be a fan in this housing, which will direct air directly to your VRM on the side of your CPU. And they're talking about their special dual chamber extreme pump that they're working here. So it's definitely cool to see, and there's a number of builds that they've been able to go ahead and implement some of these new features into. So we'll go ahead and make sure you have some B-roll of that. And then there's one more case I wanted to go ahead and show off. We have the SK30 V2. It's also another case. I think the main thing here is this is a iteration of a previous case. They're just adding some vertical mounting support, which is nice to see for anybody that's looking for that. The extra features are always appreciated. So with that, that's pretty much wraps up the entire InterMax booth here at CES 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure you guys give this video a like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.